is for those moments where you can literally say, "Make it so," just like Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah. Any like really awesome catchphrase that somebody on Star Trek or something like that is.
Make it so.
Yeah.
Make it so is empowering. Empowering.
It is empowering, and
It's
you
like
are in one of those rare positions where you get the option to do that on a regular basis. Yeah. I like when we go into a meeting, I'm like, I want to do this, this, and this, and you're like, make it so. I'm like, I got Picarded.
Yeah. I just got Picarded. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't mind being your Riker.
I also like those.
I got the beard.
I like those moments where you're like, no. No is powerful. No is powerful not because of what you're saying. It's powerful because of what it allows.
Mm-hmm.
By saying no to something, you enable something else. So
typically,
no is power. Almost like make it so. Make it so and no. There are two things. There's no in between. There's no and make it so.
There you go. Wow. Well, yeah.
We should probably do something
Should
useful
we?
instead of just goofing off.
Yeah.
So, Beamdog News!
Beamdog News.
Starts 2019 off right with a new job at Beamdog! Exclamation point. We are looking for web developers, programmers, a lead programmer, and technical artists. The programmer list, I looked at it. We had openings for like 10 programmers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's quite a bit in there.
What in the name of God are we building that we need 10 programmers?
We got big stuff happening.
We've
and
got
we
plans.
Need lots of programmers
plans within layers.
I'm just excited for when we get everybody into the new office pretty soon, and we can start opening up a couple of more things.
The new office is going to be so good.
Mm-hmm.
I was there this morning, and I'm like, I see cables poking out of things. There will soon be networks that you can plug stuff into.
Yeah,
this will be good.
You're moving the network racks over to the new office.
Yep. That will happen next week. We're going to start moving some hardware over. The rack should be stacked in the server room with care.
Video game industry night before Christmas.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay.
I'm functioning on a very odd meta level today. I'm tying so many things together.
I can dig it. So yes, start your 2019 off right with a new job at Beamdog. Here are some job perks for you.
Sane hours.
Sane hours. Work 9 to 5 like a normal person.
Like a normal human. Not like those game development slogs that have to grind their existence out.
Yeah.
It's like the game industry at some companies is almost like a pepper mill. It's like only the pepper grains are literally soul, and you are grinding developer soul over games.
Yeah. I mean, you sprinkle a little bit of that in any project that you're working in. It's just sometimes it's just wrung right out of you. So.
The difference is here you're allowed to sprinkle some of your soul into it at your own discretion, whereas at other studios you are ground physically into it. It's getting better, though. I think the industry as a whole, like one of the big things, so I was the chair of the IGDA for a short period there, but I was on the board for quite a long period. And 3 years to be exact.
Independent Game Developers Association.
Yep. International Game Developers Association. And one of the biggest issues that everyone was facing was the whole crunch time and excessive work hours, and it has gotten better. Because there's a lot of studios that are suddenly realizing it's like, hey, if we burn everybody into a horrible, crispy mess, when we go to work on the next game, they're dead, soulless husks.
Yeah.
And if we just turn around and fire them, we've got to hire all new people who we then have to grind into empty, soulless husks in order to get a game out.
Yeah, and that
it's
works for
actually,
some people, but not
it's actually
really.
a little easier to just keep the same people and run it like a marathon.
And enjoy how their skill gets better with every additional couple of months.
And when you run a marathon, there are moments when you sprint, but you sprint for a short period of time because you understand there's still a lot of the race remaining.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's Sane Hours. We also have a Beamdog swag, like this swanky red Beamdog T-shirt with the Beamdog logo on it.
Or this Icewind Dale shirt.
Those are rare, though. I don't even have one of those yet.
Yeah,
so.
You'll never get one.
Probably
I
not.
took them all. They're all mine.
But yes, game logo shirts for everything that comes out, and and the only way you can get a Beamdog shirt is by working here.
That is true. Yep. If you have a Beamdog shirt, you work here.
We don't give them anyway.
Or you have taken it off the corpse of someone who previously worked here. Hopefully that doesn't happen much.
Yeah. I mean, it would be easy to find the killer that way. It's like, oh, you have a Beamdog shirt.
You have a Beamdog shirt, and you don't work at
here.
Beamdog. Therefore, you are going to jail, my friend.
Yeah.
Cake.
We have from cake? Time to time.
Periodically, we do cake. Yeah.
We did cake when we released Neverwinter Nights mobile.
And the cake is no lie.
Earlier this week.
Yes.
And the cake is not a lie.
But we're going to get into that later.
Yes, that's correct.
So we also do lunch and learns, which I don't know if we really need to call it out as a perk, but basically
it's a fun thing.
Every couple of weeks we basically have somebody in the office, somebody in the studio present some kind of key concept that they think people would think was really cool and that they should learn about.
Yeah, something.
And sometimes they're super game development oriented, and sometimes they're about ancient Roman farming techniques. I don't know where the hell that one came from, but it did. And it happened. It's
about expanding your horizons and learning new things and so on. And I mean, I think that we skew more towards like Beamdog's wheelhouse and adjacent things.
Yep.
Like even when we did when Zach on my team did a lunch and learn about DMing tabletop games. That's still very
totally.
That's very Beamdog.
That's totally in our wheelhouse.
Absolutely.
In our house of wheels. What the hell is a wheelhouse?
Where did
that come from?
The house or the room on the boat that has the wheel in it?
That has the steering?
Yeah. I might be wrong.
I'll buy that. Dan is currently Googling wheelhouse.
Part of a boat or ship serving as the shelter for the person at the wheel.
Patal.
Yay!
So that is the wheelhouse.
Yep.
Which doesn't mean it's the thing that you're good at. It means you're steering it.
Yeah.
That's really kind of a lousy analogy, man. I'm feeling less solid about Wheelhouse right now. Wheelhouse is down in the polls. It's trending at a solid 65 right now, whereas previously I thought Wheelhouse was a good 75.
It's the place where the most competent ship driver lives?
I guess. Wheelhouse.
Yes.
God.
Wheelhouse. Hey, we've gotten off on a tangent.
That never happens.
It never happens.
Marketing news. So I'm gonna jump all over here. So on the marketing side, Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition is out on Android.
Shazam!
It is zipped and shipped.
Yes.
So you should go get it, and you should tell everyone in the universe that has made the choice of the Android platform that they should go buy it.
Massive props to the Neverwinter mobile team. Thank you, everybody, if you're watching or if you're not. And I've told everybody in face-to-face as well. Or
if you come back later and watch this on YouTube, or you realize that your life is too important to spend your time watching us goof off for an hour at a time, and you're totally doing work at your desk, we salute you.
Thanks, team. You guys did an awesome work, and the game is out, so be proud of what you did.
Yeah, it's kind of madness, like you think about it. It's like there was this game that when it launched literally crushed the PC in terms of the capabilities. It's like 96-player multiplayer game. You can now host that off of an Android device.
Yep.
I'm running a 96-player MMO off my phone. Yeah, I'm that cool.
Well, we don't quite have server hosting on the phone yet, but you can definitely play one of those.
But you can play the game. When you're playing the single-player game, it's playing the multiplayer game, and you can let people join it. So you can actually run a server on your phone.
Yeah, you can be the host for a
multiplayer game, which is madness.
It is insane.
I see we got a question.
Yes.
Where are my achievements? Question mark.
Well, on Android, they're already there. So you can play the game and you can get achievements there.
So the answer is your achievements are on Android.
Yep. If you're looking for your achievements on Steam, those are coming soon. They're on our list of features that we are pointing at for the next major stable patch.
I see in the chat that Niv doesn't believe the phone CPU can handle 96 players. I believe that's a challenge. If you have a phone, you got to see if you can host 96 players. You just got to see if it works, man. If you can't do it, just break it in a beautiful way.
I mean, there are still going to be some limitations.
Ultimately, I don't think a phone hosting 96 players over a Wi-Fi connection is a good idea. I don't think that will lead to a great user experience, but I think there is a glimmer of a possibility there.
So somebody's going to say something about us half-assing it, but we did not test 96 players hosted in a multiplayer game.
How could we not have tested that? I mean,
we tested more than one.
Yeah. So the first thing that I do is like, I'm going to do the most ridiculous thing I can with this.
Yeah. So, getting 96 players to test at once would also be a bit of a challenge. So.
Yep. But it'll do.
Yeah, it will do. It has done.
You can play multiplayer on a phone.
Yep, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
we were really happy.
And you can hook up to the persistent worlds that are running the same patch level.
Yeah, super happy we were able to pull that together.
Pretty awesome.
That was one of the things that I was really like adamant on when we were just going over like, okay, what do we absolutely need? What can we live without?
Yep.
And it was like, yeah, the multiplayer compatibility. It's like we had to have this for ship.
Yep. So we got another question here. Have you guys seen the Outer Worlds announcement thingy? Are you excited for it? I'm assuming the Outer Worlds thing is the Obsidian thing that they were doing.
So, yeah.
I saw their teaser on it, and I was like, you rat bastards. I wanted to do that. So, damn you.
We are excited.
I hate you guys for getting to the announce point before I could get my thing to where I wanted to do it. You just keep killing all my good opportunities here. I'm sad. I'm quite sad. But no, I actually haven't seen the announcement yet. I just saw their teaser for it, and I was like, you bastards. Bastards.
It'll be good, though.
Yep.
I'm always happy to see new stuff coming out.
I'm happy this guy's got Microsoft funding behind him now. Like, if you saw recently, Fargo was posting about it, saying that basically he was spending about 50% of his time chasing funding and about 50% of the time actually kind of trying to build games. So I mean, that is the reality of independent game studios.
Yeah.
You are chasing money for most of your life.
That's the indie life, just the hustle, right?
Yeah, well, the indie life is the hustle. It's like, I need the money so that we can actually eat. And it's not like you're hustling for, Daddy needs a fancy new chair there, Lana. Give me a chair. Oh, look at my desk. I got a beautiful desk. You got IKEA furniture, dude, because we are moving as hard and as fast as we can, and a lot of mouths eat a lot of food.
Yep. Now that money needs to go to those mouths for the most part.
Yeah. So. Yeah, there's that moment in a studio where you're like, my payroll in a month is the same as buying a house. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, this is why it's a business and not a personal thing.
Just bought a house. Ooh, bought another house.
A house of people, made of people.
It's kind of horrible, man. I have a house made of people.
That's what a business is, right? It's a house made of people.
So, Neverwinter, we are live on Google Play.
We are.
We were on the number 2 spot in paid apps on the Google Play Store because we announced and we had actually launched. We weren't just taking the number 2 spot and hiding it away in a closet anymore. You can actually see it's us.
Yeah, when we were on beta, we were on the number 2 spot on paid apps, which was kind of weird because beta apps don't show up unless you're signed up to the beta.
Yep.
So there was a number 1 spot and a number 3 spot, and number 2 was just missing from most people's stores.
Yep.
That was us. And now we are also visible as the number 2 spot. We were down to number 3 for a little while, but we're up to number 2 again.
Of course.
Yeah.
Here's some feedback saying, now that Obsidian ruined Trent's ideas, he can work on Arcanum EE. No, Arcanum's dead to me. The other thing is that Obsidian has not ruined my idea, because whatever idea Obsidian's doing, and they're doing their thing, my thing would have been different, because my brain is wired different than their brain. And I think some things are awesome that they probably think are really stupid. Like, I think Make It So by Picard is actually still pretty cool.
It is still pretty cool.
And I think there's a lot of people out there who
challenge
are like,
anybody.
I don't like that Picard thing. I'm with the original series. I'm watching the original series right now, actually. Just going through, and we're still on season 1. And the music at the beginning doesn't have the singing.
Right.
It's just the music. It sounds like elevator music, and it's so sad. Yeah. You're like, I want the singing part.
With that weird like slide whistle thing that they got going on with the opening.
It's horrible. It needs the singing.
Yeah. Oh, like original series is pretty good. I'm more of a like next generation DS9 viewer myself.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm how would I put it? I'm actually a really crappy fan.
Yeah.
Because I don't love anything. I can look at something and go, I appreciate that. I like that.
Yeah.
But I don't love it. In order for me to love it, I have to have been involved in the creation of it, and then I can love it. I can appreciate other things.
You're in the position where you are involved in the creation of
so
a lot of things.
I'm a fan of next to nothing. I'm an enthusiast of many things.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Especially if you're like splitting hairs and getting into the etymology of like these words and stuff like that.
Now, when people go deep into detail on, oh, I like this thing because of this, because I'm like, dude, broad impression. I enjoyed that. That was fun. And when people are like, I hated this thing because it didn't do that, I'm like, dude. It was enjoyable. It was a good good, fun movie.
Yeah, I enjoy things for their merits, and can separate the good from the bad.
So the moral of this story is, there's very little in the world worth hating.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of things in the world worth appreciating, and only a few things worth loving. So
words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Patow.
So let's keep talking about Neverwinter Enhanced Edition. So aside from being live on Google Play, we are still working on our next patch for PC coming soon. Some things that we'll call out that you should be able to see pretty soon on your PC version. Pretty soon is a relative term.
We as game developers, we love soon, because soon is one of those. Okay. Oh God, we just broke the thing, so dude has to fix that. So dude can't do the thing that he was supposed to do. So we're gonna push that back a couple weeks. Boom. Soon covers that.
Coming in the foreseeable future, but without a concrete date.
Before the end of days.
Yes. Unless that happens before we're done, in which case...
we're not accountable. It's the end of days.
Yeah, doesn't really affect us at that point.
Soon, before the end of days.
Yeah, so achievements, as were previously asked. Obviously, a number of bug fixes, because there's always bugs to fix.
There's always bugs to fix.
Yeah, we're going to be adding the keyholing from the Android version into the PC version. Soren is just finishing up on that.
Which is one of the, I must say, keyholing is literally like the worst label ever for selling what's actually a really awesome feature.
Yeah, it's a strange term. I don't know who came up with it, but I guess it comes from like peering through a keyhole.
It's like X-ray vision, man. You can see through walls. It's awesome.
Yeah, even though like before keyholing as a digital construct ever existed, you definitely could not see through keyholes anymore.
No, like bad labeling.
Yeah.
Somewhere somebody named keyholing, and they should be time traveled and punched.
Portholing? I'm not sure.
Bad.
Among the other things we're doing, True Type font.
Yes.
And we're also going to be rolling the same solution for multi-language to Beamdog client that we have on GOG. So where we are going to be basically packaging in all of the language files. So your system language should allow you to play the game in your language of choice. But if you want the movies and audio files, you'll be downloading them as a separate download.
Yep. The goal is to make it less of a pain in the ass.
Yep.
That's what we're all about.
Absolutely.
Here's a question. Would you like to be part of Microsoft? I don't know. I hear horror stories, and then I hear great things, and I like money. Money's kind of cool. So I guess on the money side, that sounds pretty awesome, but on the...
Money sounds good. Lack of independence doesn't.
Yeah.
To me.
See, I've reached a point in my life where I realize that I am kind of a jackass. And as a result, I'm going to be hard to employ by somebody else. Because they're going to say something, and I'm going to look at them. And there will be this mental war in my head of, do I tell them what I think, or do I be proper? And I've been running on my own for long enough that my whole ability to be proper is just, it's minuscule. I am a mostly unemployable jackass at this point. But I'm okay with that. The question is, if we ever got acquired, would the new owner be okay with that? I see counseling in my future. If we were ever to be acquired, there would definitely be counseling.
Hey, we have HR now, so start.
Yeah. Here's a question. What are your favorite Christmas movies? Is Die Hard up there? Yeah, Die Hard's a great Christmas movie.
Die Hard.
Everybody who says Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie is just wrong. Like,
people who
it's set at Christmas, but it doesn't. No, it came out during kind of the Christmas season. Mm-hmm. You watched it. It was a brilliant movie. You loved it. And by Die Hard, I'm talking about Die Hard 1. There was a 2, but after that, it kind of stopped.
If Home Alone is a Christmas movie, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Home Alone doesn't exist.
Dan disagrees.
I just...
it's based around Christmas. It's about families being brought together around the season.
But I was going to say I hate Macaulay Culkin, but I don't hate him.
No.
I actually just don't like him. So I just don't like the Home Alone movies.
Sure.
I don't. There's this kind of era of over-the-top slapstick comedy where literally the actor, it's like, okay, now put your face right here and go, so that we can smack it with an iron or some ridiculous thing. It's like, it's too staged. When you stage too much, you lose me.
We were still getting over the Three Stooges at that point.
Two-staged, man. The Three Stooges, you got the feeling that once in a while they actually poked each other in the eye, and that was funny. It's just like, I bet he actually has a black eye after that one.
I mean, were they brothers? I know that the Marx brothers were brothers, but at least like Shemp and Mo were definitely brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, here's
Have we gotten into the weeds a little bit again?
So far, we have taken the least straight path to where we're supposed to be going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so here's a question. Anything to report on the graphics updates? When can we expect them to be released? The answer is no. No reports, no updates. We're working on it. Yep. It's still an R&D task. The nature of R&D is you're like, hey, I'm doing the thing. It's going great. Oh, critical flaw. We must burn it to the ground and start over. That's doing the thing. Oh, critical flaw. Burn it down.
There has been consistent progress. I can say that much.
I think we're revision 7. Revision 7 is looking promising.
Yep. And we have more than just Cam working on it now.
That is true.
Yep.
So here's a question.
Yes.
What about the BG anniversary? Can we expect something special? So the BG anniversary, for those of you who may be unaware, which is probably like 2 people.
If you're watching the show, probably.
Baldur's Gate will have shipped 20 years ago on December 21st. So we had some argument about was it 21st or 23rd, because dear God, I hadn't slept for so long I didn't remember. But going back and forth on Facebook, we agreed that it was the 21st. So Ray finally authoritatively stepped in and said, yes, I remember exactly it was the 21st.
Right on.
I just remember being at the office for days and saying, I never want to click another goddamn user interface button in my life. Because I was doing multiplayer testing. Tobin Manthorpe and I were side by side. I was running 3 machines and he was running 3 machines, and we were running multiplayer testing for 12 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you know what a Baldur's Gate multiplayer game is like? It's like, okay. Connect. Okay. It's, basically, that informed my whole philosophy on UI, which is when I click, I hate. Because I clicked so much on that game to set up multiplayer, I never want to click like that again in my life.
Fewer button presses, the better.
Exactly.
Yep.
When I click,
it's great
I hate.
UX philosophy, really.
Yep. The other thing is, I think everybody should spend some time in QA because it will build your spirit.
Absolutely.
It will show what you are capable of and your ability to focus for long periods of time performing the same tasks over and over again.
It'll also help you to appreciate people who do QA full time.
It will. You'll actually learn a whole new level of respect for them. And when they speak to you and say, I think that this could be better, you're like, tell me how.
Yeah.
Because obviously they have clicked that same damn button 1,000 times and they have a better idea.
And when the game releases, 100% they are the people who have played the game the most.
Yep.
By far.
Yep. So here's a question. What about BGEE? So an enhanced edition of Baldur's Gate, enhanced edition. I think that's too meta. I think that's going too far. I think at that point we basically turn the universe inside out.
Every additional release is a further enhanced edition of the enhanced edition.
It is. Really. I mean, we have patched the game more than the original dev team has, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yep.
Kind of ridiculous.
So
back to the agenda. Come on, targeting.
We'll get there.
Keep on target. Keep on target.
We're only halfway done.
Yep. So I think we fell on the multi-language. We didn't talk about the NWSync stuff.
You're right. Yes. Yeah. So NWSync is also in the process of consistently updating. Niv has outlined a few things that are worth looking at. We are going to be auto removing old manifests from clients when servers generate new ones.
So what the hell does that mean?
So that means like the servers have this file manifest that tells you what you need to download essentially, and if they update their server, then there was a then you weren't getting your old manifest clobbered, basically. So, yeah, it was just, it was just a thing. We're also going to be auto-reconnecting users after a transfer finishes. So currently the way that it works is it starts the download, and that just kind of happens in the foreground, but then it just basically disconnects you from the server. And then you have to manually reconnect. Niv is fixing that. And we're also looking into a solution to live reload resources from your override.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty cool.
So other marketing news, we got Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition and its original soundtrack, which is brilliant, by the way.
It is a really good
They're
soundtrack.
both 40% off on Beamdog right now.
Right on.
That is the joy of having our own store. We're kind of like, dude, I want to put the thing on sale.
Just
okay, who do I need to talk to?
Nobody, just you.
Decision made. Once again, part of the reason I'm unemployable.
It helps when that information does filter down to like Lee and myself.
Admittedly, there have been surprises where Cameron and I have been like,
wait, the game's on sale right now?
I think part of Lee's standard operating procedure is to go to the web store and see what we've done. It's like, is it? Oh, it's on sale. Okay, nobody told me. Shit.
Time to write a social media post.
Exactly. Here's a question. Beamdog, are you playing Pathfinder Kingmaker? I'm 10 hours in the game and it becomes better and better. No, I'm not playing it, and I'm saddened that it takes 10 hours in for it to get better.
No, it starts out pretty decent, and I think they're just saying that like
it gets better and better.
It just continues.
It gets
to grow
awesome
in goodness. I have been playing.
I have to admit, back when there was like the D&D and then the 4th Ed and then the Pathfinder thing.
Yeah, that whole schism.
I stayed true to D&D. I've never gone down the Pathfinder kind of route. The main reason was that I just was still playing 3rd edition and 3.5 when it came out. And when 4th edition came out, I was like, wow, that looks wrong. 3.5 still. And then when they announced 5th edition, I was like, I am remarkably suspicious. And then I started reading the 5th edition rules, and I'm like, hey, this is actually pretty good. And then the more I read, I'm like, no, actually, this is really good.
Yeah, I haven't played a lot of 5th edition personally, but the in-office D&D game that Sarah is running that I play is a 5th edition game.
Yep.
But yeah, Pathfinder is basically like D&D 3.5 with a lot more.
Which 3 was a lot of fun.
Development.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of fatigued from Worlds. It's like the Forgotten Realms I get. I know the lore, I know the story, I know all the things that happen in the Forgotten Realms. The Pathfinder parallels, I know nothing of. And my desire to know anything of is actually quite low. Because I'm like, yes, they have a world. Yes, they have characters. They have named lands. Like, having been in world design meetings where I'm sitting down, it's like, the world will be named blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, there will be some word that we smush together and make thing. And I just remember sitting with James Olan and we're talking about Dragon Age. And he's like, the world will be called Ferelden. And I was like, okay, that's letters. It's letters piled together. That's good.
That sounds like a place.
That's good. Yeah. And then I remember getting all like, I had all fire and brimstone. People were like, "Yeah, we're gonna market the game and we're gonna do this." And I remember me and Dave Gator and I were both kind of, we got all excited and mad about it. It's like, this needs to be awesome. And I busted out my epic word. It needs to be epic, 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 epic. And screw you, Deacon, for mocking me, because Dave Gator, Dave totally wrote Deacon to mock me about that, because I totally rolled epic, epic, epic. Because 3 times makes it powerful, makes it magic.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm a serial homebrewer for campaign settings, so. Yep. I mean, like, I stick very, or I familiarize myself quite a bit with Forgotten Realms because that's the games we make. But, yeah, all my own home games, it's like, I do not respect your lore at all. I do what I want.
I take your lame world and substitute my own. Exactly. Superior for this.
Yeah, so.
Here's a question. How about enhancing the original mobile NWN game? That would be referring to something that ran on some kind of...
Yeah, I don't even know that.
Was that like an Ericsson handset or something?
Yeah, I have seen the game you're talking about.
Yeah, so the moral of the story is we were building Neverwinter Nights. Meanwhile, Atari, being Atari, was looking for every option they could get to cash in on it. So they did a deal to do some kind of mobile game on some horrible stuff. And like, make no mistake, I respect Atari's ability to take Neverwinter Nights, put it in a slightly different colored box, throw another label on it, and sell it for money. Yeah, because they just turned incredible revenue out of the one product that I made for them. So I was stunned by that.
As far as I can tell, it is not Neverwinter Nights, though. I don't think it's the Wailing Death campaign or anything
like that. It's got nothing to do with it. It's like, so we're going to slap the name on it and run off in a rando direction.
Yeah, it basically looks like Ultima on your, like, feature phone.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, feature phones. It was a bad period.
That was a dark time.
Yeah.
before we all had smartphones.
Back in the caveman days.
Yeah.
So here's a question: in-office D&D game live stream when? I don't know. Right now we're playing for fun. So the team's really enjoying it, and no matter what, things get a little different when a camera gets involved.
Yeah.
You kind of feel this need to act and play up for the camera and
and
do
also
this odd song and dance.
Yeah, you
lose
okay, well, I'm under scrutiny now.
Yeah.
So how do I want to play my character? I was playing Chaotic Evil. Maybe I don't want to put that
Yeah,
part
so
of myself
my
out.
chaotic evil, horribly racist dwarf, I can't play him legit anymore. So I gotta do something totally different.
Specious, most likely.
So on the other marketing news front, because we should really get back to that.
Yes.
Newsletter, you should sign up for that, because when we did the GDPR thing, it wiped us out, and we need to rebuild that puppy. Because we rebuild that puppy so we can message you about the new stuff that we're doing, so that you can be informed without having to go to weird websites that may steal your email and send you viruses and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't have to search for news or wait till every Friday in order to get updates from us. You can get updates in a much more granular fashion.
Yep. I think we've covered quite a bit.
We've covered the first page.
Oh my God, we're done the first page, and we've only blown through the majority of the time we have for the stream.
No, it's only 11:30.
32 minutes.
Halfway through.
Dan's saying something about liquid bribes.
Liquid bribes.
Here's a question. Is Chrome OS support planned for NWN EE Mobile?
So at current, not officially, but we are looking at what we can do to support more platforms, ultimately.
The answer is possibly.
Possibly. Yeah, but in its current form, we do not officially support Chrome OS.
Here's a question. So are there any plans to put NWN EE on platforms like PS4 and Xbox now the phone apps are finishing? That's a good question.
That is a good question.
That is a good question. Here's another good question. Yeah, I'm totally going to dodge that one. I'm not answering that.
There you go.
The answer is I like the concept, but at this point we have no announced plans to put it on any of those devices.
There you go.
Question. Should Beamdog's expansions, DLC, and add-ons be considered canon?
Yes.
Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah. They're WotC approved.
Yep.
And they are, they fit. And the only things that are potentially not canon is like if you went ahead and killed Drizzt when he showed up in the game.
Yeah, because he's kind of alive now.
Yeah.
He's kind of always been alive.
That sort of thing. So like player actions, perhaps not, but
yep.
Yeah.
I think the general rule is
they have been made canon.
It's all second ed, third ed stuff, so nobody's really looking back that hard right now.
Yep.
Here's the question, Neverwinter Nights. Can you tease about the new fun you would like to create regarding NWN EE? Are any writers currently working on new NWN projects for Beamdog? Can we tease? Yeah, we're doing stuff, and writers are writing things.
There you go.
Tease.
I was not going to answer for fear of like spoiling anything, but yes.
But once again, that's the reason I'm unemployable. Buy anyone, save myself.
I mean, if you want to say so, you absolutely can. I just can't go over your head and do that.
There are people who are typing words that will eventually make something,
and it's looking pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy with it so far.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes,
I'm also looking forward to the graphics refresh because sometimes it feels like I'm watching the movie Inception. Like, are we in the third layer or the second layer? I'm not totally sure.
Does it just get more abstract the further down you go?
Exactly. So here's another question. When will the new main menu art become part of the desktop version?
So we're looking into it, and it is coming in a patch pretty soon. I'm not sure if you're going to be seeing that late 2018 or early 2019, though. Okay. So.
Yep. Next question. Will NWSync be able to to update one hack rather than rehash the whole set when adding one to a module?
So I checked with Niv on this one, and he said that it's a server-side only tooling issue that is on his radar, and he can optimize, and it's on his list. So there you go. Something that we're working on.
Cool.
Yep.
We're halfway through the fan questions. My God.
We're moving too fast.
We're going fast, so we should give away a T-shirt.
That's okay. Let's give away a T-shirt.
Now the question is, what's the slowest possible process we could use for giving away a T-shirt?
We could knit one on stream and then give it away.
You wouldn't want to see a knit T-shirt. I'd be halfway through knitting and be like, I dislike this fabric and choose to substitute metal thread instead. Metal thread's not good enough. No, we need some kind of titanium. Titanium would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like cloth at the top and then wool and then like chainmail.
Yeah, and then I would just burn it at the end because I was unsatisfied with the results, and I'd be like, sorry, there is no T-shirt. That's just kind of how I roll. But
we do have some T-shirts already to give away, and we're giving away one of those.
So the T-shirt that is already made and giveawayable, we're giving to Croquette.
Croquette _ Congratulations, you won yourself a T-shirt.
You won yourself a T-shirt.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Question number 6.
Question 6.
Is rendering skyboxes in the toolset something that can be implemented?
Yeah, that is something that is doable. It does need to be fit into a queue of other toolset tasks that we need to tackle.
Yeah, one of the gotchas, skyboxes are pretty big, so they do add a bit of overhead to the rendering. And I think part of the idea with the toolset was that it was always going to be able to operate on a pretty kind of abstracted level, so you could quickly manipulate things. So the last thing I want to do is grind the performance of that puppy down.
Yeah. Fortunately, devices are a little bit stronger now, so it's something we can potentially do.
Yeah, I think we've gained a couple gigahertz in clock speed
since in the last 15 years or so.
Since the 2000 XX period, where there's this kind of like dark phase. It's like, I remember this in great detail. Oh, got really fuzzy there for a couple of years. Suddenly my memory starts working again after that. I periodically have to go and
XDX.
Yeah, I have to go and look at my racing trophies. I'm like, that year, okay, yeah. That year, okay. Oh, 2 years of blank. Yep, that's when Neverwinter was. That's when we were crunching like slaves. Row. I can't row any farther, boss. Just row, you bastards. Row.
Oh, boy.
Yep. Next question. Android. How do premium modules work? Are they IAP, which is in-app purchase? Is there a way to see the prices? Also, how much space does it take? Can I look up the prices for premium modules somewhere outside of the in-app purchase menu? I need to know how much to budget for the modules I use before I buy them.
Okay, so there are a lot of questions in this one individual question. So
Understatement.
I will answer them individually. So how do premium modules work on Android? You do, unlike platforms like Steam and Beamdog Client, where you can purchase them separately from the app, we did have to create an in-app store that is accessible from the main menu. There's the store button. You press that, it opens up an IAP menu. Using those terms, and from there it has a list of all of the modules, premium modules as well as free modules that we distribute for free. Go fig. And so that's where you get them. Are they IAP? Yes. Is there a way to see the prices? The prices are listed in the IAP menu, and so basically, except for Darkness Over Daggerford, all of the premium modules are $2.99. Darkness Over Daggerford is $4.99.
Yep.
US. How much space does it take? That differs wildly depending on the module. Pirates of the Sword Coast is about 170 megabytes, but Wyvern Crown of Cormyr is over a gigabyte. So your mileage may vary.
Yeah. So the answer is, right now, the best source for this information, there isn't one, but expect the info to be on the internet.
Yeah.
We'll post it up somewhere.
Sure.
And if we don't, the fans will. And at the point, we'll just take the info from the fans and we'll post it somewhere more accessible.
Yep. So I think that answers, can I look at the prices? Trent just answered that. I need to know how much, and that's not a question, that's a statement. Okay.
Question.
Fantastic.
Now NWN EE has been released on Android. Could you please give us an ETA on the Steam achievements? Soon.
I did previously. Yes, soon. They're on our list of features that we want to implement for the next stable PC patch. There you go. Soon. TM.
Yeah,
I need to get a soon shirt to wear on the stream. I need the soon shirt, and you need the no shirt.
Here's a question. NWN, has it been decided what version of OpenGL the game will use in the new renderer? The answer is yes. all. So the plan is to build a renderer that has a GL 3.3 path, and then a GL 3.0 path, and then a GL ES2 path. So the goal being that we have multiple render paths depending on what the device you're trying to run it on can handle. So
yeah.
We just got a lot of work to do to build all those 3 render paths in parallel.
Yeah, but in order to support old content and not break things when we start running the thing in a higher version of OpenGL, basically the game has to be able to differentiate.
But don't expect things to look amazing on a GL to ES path. It's just gonna. There's only so much we can do there.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you're running a modern PC, you're probably just gonna be able to run it the highest version of GL, as long as it doesn't unless you're running like some kooky custom content that requires one of the old versions.
And if it's running like crap, you can always kind of step down, back down to GL 3.0.
Yep.
Here's a question.
Yep.
Any word on getting the premium modules unlocked for editing? We haven't had an update on this in a long while.
So there's still a little bit of work needed decrypting some of the premium modules, and there's some old remnants of internal DRM apparently that need to be done.
Yep.
But it is on our radar and something that we are looking at. I don't have a specific ETA on that, but it'll happen.
So we've got some other questions that are popping up here.
Yes.
So
questions from you folks.
Overland travel maps for BGEE ?
Oh, like as opposed to the map where you're just like walking around overland like they did with Arcanum?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're talking about, Bob.
But probably not.
No. We're not going to make much more in the way of changes.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate.
We're pretty happy with where BG's at.
Yeah.
I mean, when bugs pop up, we fix. When other than that, steady as she goes.
Yeah, and all of those, you must gather your party before venturing forth, are not going away. So.
Yep. Question, when are the new portraits and sounds coming for BG2, etc.? So this is kind of the two things, the team pack and the DLC pack. We got delayed on those. We ran into an unintended problem. So the answer is soon. So soon is going to be a while. Here's a question. When is Dan's portrait going to be released? So this is Dan
feeling like Dan wrote that one himself.
So I actually saw him typing it in. So when we did the in-office set, the team pack, we actually did portraits in-house. And we went through all the portraits, and we were like, that one's really good. That one's not so good. That one needs some loving. And Dan's portrait needed some loving. Dan thinks his portrait is awesome, but he's wrong. His face is just it's lost a little too much detail. We need to be able to call out a little more of the detail in the flesh, So it'll get twiddled, and at some point,
shaking his head.
Just based on how Dan's acting, I'm thinking we'll just bury it forever.
No. I think there were like 14 portraits, and about like 8 of them are going to are like up to snuff. So. Yeah.
And for me, I mean, my portrait of the whole face thing that I made for Dorn, that's circulating out on the internet. So this is Trent Oster. This is what he looks like. Wow, he looks like a grumpy SOB. The answer is yes. Here's another question. Did you solve the dynamic scaling for different screen sizes in NWN EE?
Yes.
Mostly. I think with TTF, that's one of the things that kind of gets addressed, as well as the fonts actually look a lot better with those dynamic sizes.
It already works on Android. You can now scale by decimal points.
As opposed to fixed 2x, 3x res.
Yeah, it used to be that when you wanted to scale up the UI in Neverwinter, actually I could probably show it on the screen.
We've got a tablet here running the game, and we just never showed it.
I just have my hands on top of my paper because it's keeping them warm because of the cold Edmonton winters.
Yeah.
And this tablet runs nice and hot if you leave the game open.
When in doubt, run Neverwinter on your mobile device for heat.
Yeah, there you go. It's a feature. So I don't know if you want to switch over to the menu here, but if I go to video options and I hit resolution and UI scaling, you see this down here, new UI scale, minimum 1.0, max 1.9. I can change that now to like 1.5, and I hit apply, and my UI is smaller than it was before. If I want it to be bigger, which you typically do on a mobile device.
Always.
Yeah. Then
the answer is 1.9
and
maximum size.
Pull that thing all the way up. Come on, and boom, and it's now Oh, I'm hitting apply instead of okay. That's why.
Yep.
And here you are, and it's bigger and feels a little bit better.
Bigger is good.
Yep, it is indeed. And this is Pirates of the Sword Coast, in case you were wondering.
Yep.
Because I was playing it.
Here's a question: were achievements coming for premium modules? I forget. Actually, I forget too.
So there are achievements that are specific to Shadows of Undertide and Hordes of the Underdark. So yes. But not like, we don't have achievements specific to Darkness Over Daggerford or anything basically you have to pay for.
Yeah, any of the premiums, no. So
yeah, stuff that's packaged in the game.
Expansion packs, yes. Premiums, no.
Yeah.
Here's a question: can you add in-game borderless windowed mode for NWN EE? And
according to Niv, it is available as a flag in your .ini file. So it's already there, I guess.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
So we actually are going to have a hard out right at noon because Nathan Stewart's doing his follow-up stream where it's like spoilers and swag. So y'all should watch that because Nathan's kind of like the brand director on D&D.
Yeah,
and
pretty awesome.
He gives away stuff, and he's
hence
spoilers,
the swag part
spoilers
of it.
and
he
swag.
Gives you spoilers about certain things too.
You should all watch that.
Yeah. So continue to talk about the UI scaling. So this is all working right now on mobile, which is fantastic. It was a necessary step and something that we were finally able to do once we implemented TrueType font, which is also coming to the PC version.
Yep.
And when TrueType font comes to the PC version, we are also looking to
do the scaling
as well. We'll have to check to see if we need to limit it to a 1.9. Or make it even larger.
I think we'll be able to make it even larger.
Yeah.
It'll be one of those things we're going to have to fight with it a bit, see what makes sense.
Yeah. 1.9 was kind of the hard limit on mobile.
Yep.
Because that's like the aspect ratios and things like that were available to us. That's kind of where it leveled out.
Yeah.
But mobile devices
if you
are
ever want a life lesson in aspect ratios, you should look at Android devices.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you never knew there were that many different aspect ratios available.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
It is the Wild West. There are no laws as far as aspect ratio is concerned with Android devices. Even like some iOS devices, they'll throw something weird at you.
Yep. Like a little notch out of the screen.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like 1366 by 768 or whatever. And,
and you get it because it's a normal number.
Yeah, well, relatively normal. It's not 1024 or like 1920 by 1080 or whatever. But those are the ones you're used to if you're a PC player.
Those are the resolutions that were written on stone tablets, my friends.
But some of them are really kooky, and like you'll get these devices that are like this long but only this wide, and it's like, okay, how do we support that?
Yep.
What does the UI do when you do that?
Yeah, like 3:1 aspect ratio. You're like, what the hell?
Do we just pillar box and keep like black bars on the sides so that we can still have it in the ratios that we want? But yeah, it gets pretty crazy.
Yeah. So here's a question. Have you heard of any issues with NVIDIA cards? I keep losing graphic models in the toolset when working with the new dev builds. We haven't heard any specific issues on NVIDIA cards. It could be a specific generation and a specific driver issue. So if you want to kind of hit support up, tell us what version of card you have, what driver you're running, what OS you're running. We can take a peek at it, see what's going on there. We have some friends at NVIDIA who are very helpful in terms of when things go slightly south. And overall, NVIDIA is usually really solid on their OpenGL implementation. So it's rare that we have odd problems on NVIDIA. Quite rare.
Yep.
And the PC is wonderful because it doesn't have all sorts of rando aspect ratios.
Yeah, I mean, you can do some strange things with aspect ratio on your PC, but typically it's a 16:9 or a 16:10 resolution.
One or two aspect ratios as opposed to 40.
Yeah. Unless you've got like one of those double wide sort of semi-curved monitors that are getting real popular these days, which I don't.
No.
I do run, so PCs do act very strangely
they
outside of normal aspect ratios, though. On my PC at home, I have one monitor that is regular portrait,
landscape.
landscape, and two that are portrait on either side, because I read like websites and chat windows and stuff like that. And I have limited space in my computer closet my apartment. So like I do video editing and stuff like that for like YouTube and so on. And Adobe products hate portrait mode.
I can understand that.
Yeah, it's like you start to resize and it just jumps to the nearest landscape monitor. It's like, no, I wanted it on this one.
Yep. So in the office, I have 2 desks at the moment. I have a desk in East and a desk in West. And on my desk in West, I have a single 4K 43-inch monitor, which is too big. It literally is too big. I have it set as far back as I can on my desk, and I'm actually brainstorming on ways to push it slightly farther back because it's just a little too big. It was one of those things. Dan and I were sitting down there. We're talking about monitors and possibilities, and Dan's like, "Hey, look at this one. It's on sale. It's pretty cool." And I was like, "Okay, let's try it." So by let's try it means it's really big and I want it, so let's get it and put it on my desk. And we did, and it's just too big. I actually liked my 34-inch 4K much better. The 43 is just a little too big.
43 is really big for a desk monitor.
Well, it is because you're sitting like 3 feet away from it. I find myself rolling back.
Like you can't see the wall at that point, I'm pretty sure. It's like your peripheral vision maybe.
But I do have to say, like, I used to run 224s. And I used to run 224s in landscape. And going to a single 32-inch 4K was superior. I really like 4K single monitor because you got all the desktop resolution you've got. Things are small enough, but at 32, the pixels aren't too tiny, especially on apps that don't scale well, like 3D Studio Max. I tried running a 4K 24-inch monitor, and Max had like micro font, and you're like, I just physically cannot make out what those letters are. And take my glasses
reading
off,
the fine print.
I'm going to lean in. I'm sticking my face against the monitor, and I still can't make out what it says. But on a 34, it's actually pretty good. The other setup I've got is I'm running a MacBook Pro, and I have a second monitor that I can run for that MacBook Pro, which is a 4K as well. And I got to say, the MacBook Pro, the screen on it is brilliant. It's really high quality. I like that a lot. And it's one of the things about the MacBooks and the iMacs is they have really good screens, and they do a good job with them.
Absolutely.
And PCs are like, I grew up on PCs, and I've been, I can change this. And like right now I got that 43-inch monitor. I got it slightly overclocked for a higher refresh because I hate 60 hertz. So I've got it jacked up to 66, which is slightly better for me. Okay. I'm just not noticing the flicker as badly. But that's one of the things I like about the PC. And I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of PC users are Android users. They like that ability to go in and muck with stuff.
Yeah.
I find the older I get, the more I'm like, I don't care. I just want it to work, man.
I do like to tinker. I'm definitely a diehard PC
So I'm an iPhone guy because I just want my damn phone to work. and we've had Android devices in the office. At some points, we've had 20 or 30 different devices. And I've been like, okay, I want to play the game on the... Okay, where's the settings?
What does the settings icon look like on this OS?
Oh, God, the interface is different.
Yeah.
It's like, at this point, I set Android to the side. I'm like, Android, you're dead to me. I'm just going to use my iPhone because it does the same thing as my last iPhone and the iPhone before it, and it just works.
I reiterate my Wild West no rules
statement
about Android.
Yeah, and the Android crew rolls into town with a new release, shoots up the town, rides out.
The OSs, there's like no standards. It's like, we want to do our icons like this. We want to do this kind of a menu, one that you swipe side by side, but also a second menu where all of your settings and stuff like that.
We want to make a menu where you stick your face to the screen, and based on that, it can do face recognition.
You launch games by shaking the phone.
Yeah, and then you can stick your mouth to it and talk, and it'll interpret the shape of your mouth and it'll understand if you're mad or not.
Dig in.
Got a question. New IP when? That's a good question. I don't know. I got to do IP at some point. I want to do something new. Something new and exciting.
That would be exciting.
I'm not exactly sure what I want to do yet, but it's got to be fun and it's got to be gameplay driven. And Dan's idea for a Pogs MMO will never happen. Never.
Like
I will just actively crush that idea just because Dan put it forward.
Oh.
That's my that's my best evil laugh.
Oh boy. Yep.
So we're actually
eventually
we're gonna get there. We're gonna make some IP, and whatever Dan wants to do, we won't do.
Yeah.
Just out of spite. Sorry, Dan. Wow. I'm kidding. We love you, Dan. We'll only mostly reject your ideas. Here's it. Oh, Dan's still sore about the portrait. We'll get an artist to fix up that portrait. We'll make it as good as I want it to be, because I don't want you to be sad, Dan. I want it to be so good that when you look at it, you're like, I am a heroic, badass guy. I'm loving that. There were different words in my head, and then I just realized that they should not be said on this live stream because you do not want family members seeing me drop.
We attempt to at least be PG-13 here.
Yeah. So I want it.
That's Weird Al.
I want Dan to feel really good about his portrait. So I want to make sure it hits a level of quality that I look at and go, that is an awesome portrait.
Yeah. Looks pretty good so far. Just needs a little
bit. It's not bad. I can see it. I can see what it could be. I see what it is, and I see what it could be, and that frustrates me. I need to be what it could be.
Yeah.
Here's another question.
I mean, I could package it up for you and give it to you specifically, but
here's a question: when will Neverwinter Nights 3 be released? That is a good question. Probably sometime after it starts development. That would kind of
when somebody decides to make it.
That would be the logical flow. First, there would be the will. I would make Neverwinter 3. Then would be the money that gets put into a big pile.
I can afford to make Neverwinter 3.
Yeah, and then there would be I will find the people who have the skills to make a Neverwinter 3, and then that will happen. And then the next stage is the making of, and then the fire and pain part, and then the ship.
The fire and pain part is kind of our specialty.
Yeah. I have a master's in fire and pain. Or at least a solid undergrad.
Yeah.
So we're going to give away another T-shirt.
All right. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. How does one pronounce that?
Avocado badado? Badadado?
Oh, avocado badado.
Avocado badado.
Patow.
It's kind of fun to say once
avocado
you figure it out.
Badado.
Congratulations, you won your beautiful T-shirt, Mr. Avocado.
Badado.
Potato. Avocado badado.
Avocado badado. Loving it.
All right.
Loving
so let's do our wrap up here.
Oh God, yeah, we should cover things again.
Re-summarize the things that we said at the start of the stream.
Yeah. If you are a game dev or you want to be a game dev, you should come work for us because we're a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
We actually we probably goof off a little less in the real world than the live stream, but it's only like a slight fraction thereof.
It is a joyous place.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, we're making games, and nobody dies if we don't hit things. So we're like, this isn't fun. Okay, let's make it more fun.
Absolutely.
We're pretty reasonable people, so pretty good.
Yeah. Sign up for the newsletter. Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition is live on Google Play, so go ahead and pick it up. Give us 5 stars because you love us.
You should totally give us 5 stars.
Yeah. We're doing real well. I think we're like 4.6 last time I heard.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That is awesome. Planescape is on sale.
Planescape is on sale, 40% off.
And the soundtrack on Beamdog.
And the soundtrack,
which is
on Beamdog.
Pretty crazy.
Yep. And it's going to be a lot of fun. If you haven't played Planescape, pick it up.
Yep. And Neverwinter on Android, we're happy to be done.
Yeah.
We're going to roll it forward, probably do a patch or 2 down the road.
Yep.
As always,
I mean, it'll be patched as we do the PC release.
Going forward, I mean, everything's going to have to be lockstep from now on. So when a PC update goes out, an Android update will go up, and we'll just have to keep running it like that.
Yep.
And then when iOS comes out, we'll just run them all lockstep.
Yep.
In some respects, it'll slow down our patching a little bit, but at the same time, I think from a persistent world standpoint, people will appreciate that patches are being a little slower, but they're going to be more kind of cast in stone when they come out.
And not breaking your stuff.
That is one of our goals.
Absolutely.
One of our pillars is don't break things. Just don't break it, man. Yeah. Don't be that dude who does the stuff with the breaking of the thing.
And that's all the time that we have. Thank you very much for watching.